You don't have to be on the roads very long before you come across somebody who's got their spotlights adjusted like this. Well, not quite that bad maybe, but you know what I mean. In this video, I'm going to show you how to adjust driving lights or spotlights and how to adjust a light bar like I've got on the roof of the 200 series. These tips and tricks are going to be somewhat generic, so it's well worth reading any instruction manuals that may have come with your driving lights or light bars, because you may need special tools that I don't mention in this video, or you may even have special procedures. But this video is going to give you the main tips and is going to help you set up the vast majority of driving lights or light bars out there on the marketplace. This tip is really important. Make sure you have the vehicle loaded somewhat close to the way you're going to use the vehicle when you use the spotlights. You see, when I have the camper on, that's when I go bush. And when I go bush is when I often want the lights. With the camper off, the back of the car sits up quite high. That means the lights point down quite low. So by having the correct weight on the back of the vehicle, the lights are going to be pointing where I want to adjust them to. Before you start, make sure you've got the tools that you're going to need. For me, I need these and some thread lock. So the lights are mounted in a number of different positions. The first is this main mounting plate here. Now on these lights, we only have one center bolt here, so they're quite easy to rotate when they're loose, which they are loose. But a lot of brackets also have these extra holes here, so once you get your final adjustment, you can fit these bolts and lock it off solid. With these Ultravision lights, I don't tend to need to do that. I just need that center bolt. So now I understand how this part of the light is mounted. What I need to do next is loosen this bolt off. Now my lights are fitted with a security nut. It's up underneath here. So I've got a special security socket, which I can fit to my ratchet, and I can access through the bull bar so that I can adjust the tension on that nut. Now we're going to set the mounting bolt up so that we can adjust the light. So what I've done here is I've loosened off the bolt just a little bit, and I can now rotate the light, but the light is still firm so it doesn't move when I let go of it. So now we've got the base bolt loose. Now it's time to loosen these side bolts. You don't need to take them out. You just want to loosen them off so that you can get a nice easy adjustment of the light up and down, but the light stays in place. Now adjusting a light bar is so much easier than adjusting driving lights. And the reason is, you've only got to adjust the up and down of the light. And on this light bar, it's 2 screws here, bit of thread lock when you've finished adjusting it, lock it in place and the job's done. Light bars, nice and easy. So now we know how to do the job. The next thing we need is a nice, quiet piece of country road where we can park and shine the lights for a good long distance so that we can see where they're going to hit the road and we simulate that driving environment. So I'm going to wait till it gets a little bit darker and I'll see you out there in the dark. Well, it's dark now, and as you can see, we've found a nice quiet country road that's nice and straight. So it's perfect for what we're about to do. I've got no driving lights on and only the vehicle's standard high beams. And as you can see, the lighting's pretty dismal, and the lights at that first set of reflectors, after that, they become pretty ineffective. So the way I'm going to adjust these driving lights is so that the beam starts about halfway from the vehicle to those reflectors and then goes beyond that and then sets up the lights out to the side. So let's get on with it. So slightly loosen all the adjusting nuts and bolts so they hold the light firm, but you can still move it with slight resistance. Now the easiest way to adjust them is to have only one light working at a time. There's 2 ways we can do this. The first way is you cover one of the lights and adjust the other one, or you can unplug the light that you don't want to adjust. Either way works just fine. So the first thing we want to do is adjust the left and right of the light and get it pointing where we want it, which is right there. Now I'm going to tighten that up so that the light doesn't move. So now we're going to adjust it up and down. So we can see down, we come up, too high, and we'll get it right about there. I reckon that'll be a good starting point. And now I tighten it up without letting the light move. Now swap lights and repeat the process. Now turn both the lights on and see if you're happy with what you've got going on. Make any adjustments as required and see if we're happy with the light that's coming out now. If we are, it's time to go for a drive. Drive through a few different terrains, whether it be country roads, open highway, mountain trails, and so on, and see if you're happy with the light. Once you've got an adjustment you're happy with, it's a good idea to get some thread lock and put it on each of the screws. When you remove each screw one at a time, you're not going to change your adjustment. Now sometimes you find that you want to adjust the lights because maybe you changed the loading on the vehicle, or you just don't quite like where they're sitting nowadays. Whatever it is, you now understand how easy it is to adjust the lights. I'm Mad Matt, stay safe on the trails.